All right, New York, Las Vegas. I just stayed at Paris, Las Vegas, and I like that theme, that concept of hotel. So I thought I'd check out its rival, New York. Those two hotels couldn't be any more different. This one is owned by MGM. It is based on an American city and it's large. Paris is owned by Caesars. It's based off a European city and it's pretty boutique. This is one of the coolest looking hotels on the outside I've ever seen. How's it gonna look on the inside? We're gonna find out. This is Coolest Luxury Hotels, New York, Las Vegas. So typically this is not a hotel I would stay at. In fact, I've overlooked this hotel for the last decade. But I do want to be more explorative with the channel. I want to do more than just luxury hotels. So I want to do more 4.5 star properties. And that forces me to find new gems and hopefully uncover new properties to share with you guys. As always, at any property, my goal is to find the best food, the best drinks, the most fun, and just really walk around and explore everything this hotel has to offer. Immediately upon entering this room, I was very unimpressed. In fact, this room is totally not my style. I actually kind of liked the ambiance and the atmosphere when I walked into the property. It gave me a good vibe, but this room is a major letdown for me. I'm gonna show you why. So this room is a Premier King room. I paid extra for it. And if this is a Premier King, I really don't even want to speculate or know what a regular king or even a standard room is like. And I could still really love this property. Like I said, I walked in and I got a great vibe, but this is probably the worst hotel room I've done on this channel. So here's the bathroom in the Premier King, and it looks like it's something straight out of a Ramada. Just really economical, really utilitarian, not a lot of style, not a lot of class, and that's being pretty diplomatic. In fact, it's quite the opposite. The highlight of the bathroom is probably these Kier products. I've had these at MGM Grand, I've had these at Mandalay Bay. I really enjoy using those products, and that's probably the highlight of the bathroom. Let's get on to this Premier King room. And again, it's just really basic. This is like a Best Western. This is like a Ramada. I really don't know what else to call it. I was expecting more of a New York type theme, and I'm really not seeing much that really embodies or is emblematic of anything about New York at all. Really, there's not much to explain. I mean, you have a TV, you have a couple chairs, there's the bed, a little bit of a desk, but that's it. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna jump on this bed, and this bed could be the saving grace of this room. If this bed is amazing, then I'm going to cut this room some slack. Let's check it out. It's what you would expect in a room like this. Really springy, not a lot of support. It's average at best. So that is it for an initial room rundown. I don't want to be negative. Again, this is probably, at least I hope, probably a good value hotel. There's a couple great restaurants I want to check out. I want to find the best drinks. I want to have as much fun here as possible. This could be a hotel that forces you to get outside your room and have some fun, and I'm hoping that it is. All right, good morning. First official full day here at New York, New York, and I want to start it by showing you my view into Las Vegas. You're not going to believe this. Check it out. This is what you get with a Premier King here at New York, New York. Let me show it to you. Look at this gorgeous view into this Las Vegas industrial equipment. I thought my view at MGM Grand was questionable. This takes it to another level. Now, I don't want to get too negative. Again, I try to have as much fun in these videos as possible, and I did salvage some fun last night, which I want to talk about. And I did see some amazing rooms here at New York, New York. At least they looked amazing in the pictures. I mean, this room looked amazing in the pictures too, so I don't know how good the suites are. But sometimes that's just luck of the draw. But that's just kind of how this room and trip is kind of going thus far. So last night I tried to have as much fun as possible. I wanted to offset kind of the downer that was this room, so I went to the best restaurant on site, which is Gallagher's Steakhouse. I would compare Gallagher's to a Smith and Wollensky's that had the same type of style. The menu was a little abbreviated, so it forced me to do something that I rarely do, and that's order a steak, because there just wasn't a lot to choose from on the menu. And let me say, the steak was out of this world. It was spongy, it was soft, it was buttery, it had the perfect texture. It was one of the best steaks I've ever had, period. Not just in Vegas, not just this year, but ever. It was so good. Gallagher's may not have the most style or the most edge, but it certainly had a phenomenal cut of beef. After dinner, I was feeling great. I went over to the high stakes slots. I put 50 bucks in. I'm trying to make that a ritual. I thought about putting $100 in, but I've been robbed each of the times I've done this thus far. And I'm glad I only put in $50 because I got robbed again. I'm gonna hit one of these times, I know it. So I definitely wanted to improve my mood after that gambling misfortune, so I went up to Pour 24. That's on the mezzanine level or second level of the casino. And this casino is absolutely huge, by the way. It's a very large casino floor, which I'll get to later. And I loved it. Pour 24 is a beer tap house, but they had some excellent drinks on the menu too. It was a perfect place to get a drink before you go down to the casino or go to Coyote Ugly. You could take the drinks to go. It overlooked the entire casino. I actually really enjoyed my time there. So it's morning in Vegas. Anytime you're up before noon, that's a major victory, so I'm feeling pretty proud about that. I want to check out the pool. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that before or after the gym, but that's on the list as well. And then tonight I'm feeling international. That's right, I'm feeling international at New York, New York. I'm going to check out their Italian place, and I'm going to check out their Irish pub. So I just got back from the pool and the gym. Before I talk about those two things, I want to talk about this room. I'm really disappointed because I looked at my receipt and I paid $150 a night for this King Premier room. Luxury Premier King, whatever it's called. I don't care what they call it. They call it whatever they want. It's not worth $150 a night. Moreover, I walked past some rooms on my way to the spa and to the pool, and they looked decent. The room next to me looks awesome. It looks modern and updated and much cooler than this. I don't know if that's a different suite or if I just got a dud in this room, but I'm just really disappointed. For $150 a night, this is so not worth it. The gym follows that sentiment. The gym was terrible. It's the worst gym I've been in thus far. If you're a gym goer, you're not going to be happy with this gym on property. But I will say the pool was average. It was decent. There was some decent amount of space there. You want to get there at 10 a.m. if you want to pick your spot. 10:30 if you want a decent spot, and by 11 a.m. if you want a spot at all. But there was a bar out there, so that was nice. I had a huge Miami Vice. That's one of my favorite drinks of all time, so that was great. The landscape and the atmosphere was pretty cool with the New York buildings in the background and the roller coaster going by. It was a nice place to spend an hour, hour and a half. By no means was it the best Vegas pool I've ever seen, but it certainly wasn't the worst. I am delirious after that hardcore gym session and that huge Miami Vice. I'm gonna take a nap, and then it's off to dinner. So I just got back from dinner, and I'm just trying to decompress, do a little video editing, and watch UFC before I go out again tonight. And this has been going off for the last 10 minutes.
The reason for the alarm is now being investigated. We will keep you advised. Thank you.
It's my last few minutes here at New York. I want to talk about what I did yesterday. I went to Chin Chin, and then I went to the Irish pub. I want to give some thoughts on the room. I want to get some thoughts on the overall property, and then I'm going to rate this hotel. It's going to get a rating I've never given before. That can't be good. Okay, yesterday I went to Chin Chin. I liked the location. It was right outside my tower elevator. I'm staying in the New Yorker Tower, or the New York Tower, and it was right outside. It's pretty much a sushi place. There was some dim sum on the menu, and they do have some breakfast options. It was great. I got in right away. I got served right away. That painkiller drink was probably the best drink I had over the entire 3 days and nights. So definitely go get one of those. It was delicious. I had it for lunch. I could have had that thing for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. In fact, that's a breakfast, lunch, and dinner meal replacement. It was so good. I had a couple sushi rolls. The rolls were decent. They were made right in front of me, so I like that transparency. I love watching the chef do his thing. The standout roll was the poke roll. It was a sushi roll with like a mini poke bowl on top. Never seen anything like that before, and I really liked the concept. So it's no secret I was highly disappointed in this room, especially after checking out what I paid for it. I paid for this room like 6 weeks ago on Expedia, and I kind of forgot what it cost. I just remembered it being like $50, but I was wrong on that. It was $50 for one night, but the previous nights were like $150 and $166. And this room is like a Ramada Inn. I've seriously been in better Ramada Inns and Holiday Inns than this room. And I did walk by some other rooms, like I said, and they looked nice. I don't know if I got a dud. I don't know if those rooms are, even more higher priced suites or what the deal is. But this room, this Premier King, for $150, $166 a night, it's just terrible. I mean, seriously, this is straight out of a Holiday Inn. I mean, the toilet right next to the counter, single vanity. I mean, for a Premier King and for $155 a night, I am just very, very unhappy with this room. This is easy to say it's the worst Vegas hotel room I've ever been in. This is a New York themed hotel. So where is the New York concept, right? I mean, you have a picture of a rolling hill. It looks like Kansas. And then you have a maple leaf over here, right? You have a drawing of some maple leaves. This isn't Toronto, okay? So what's going on? There's nothing that is like New York inspired about the room. The only thing I could find that was New York inspired was the do not disturb sign. I want to talk about dining very quickly. I was really disappointed in the restaurants here. There were a ton of them, but only 2 were my style. I'm looking for legitimate dining experiences, somewhat high-end, fine dining, and I don't think really either one, El Fornio or Gallagher's, was fine dining. Gallagher's, you could maybe make a fringe argument that it was fine dining, but that would be a total stretch. The one saving grace is that I went to Gallagher's and had the best steak I've ever had in Vegas. I stand by that statement, but I think that was just luck of the draw. I mean, it certainly wouldn't get me to come back and eat there again. So that tremendous steak was a silver lining. It gave me something positive to talk about, but it wasn't a reason to come and stay at this hotel. There is a ton of food, but it's like a cottage market. You have your Nathan's hot dogs, and then you have a burger place, and then you have a couple pizza places. You have a Mexican place. I guess I was just looking for more authentic New York food. I know New York is a melting pot, so you get all different types of foods there, but I was looking for more of a higher end New York dining experience, and I just really didn't get it. This is gonna be your mini attraction hotel, okay? And there's gonna be a certain demographic that this appeals to, but this is your mini attraction hotel with all the little different types of restaurants, and you have Hershey World, and you have Coyote Ugly, you have the roller coaster, you have a ton of little mini attractions, and that is perfect for families. This is probably the best family hotel that I can think of anywhere in Vegas, just because there's so much to do for families. I think it's geared that way. There's an arcade, the food is really approachable, the place is really walkable, there's just a bunch of little shops to go into. It's geared towards families coming here and coming here for a few days. If you are a family and you want to have an experience hotel and not have to leave property for a day or two, keep the kids busy, mom and dad can get a drink or chill by the pool, this is a perfect family hotel. But unfortunately, I'm not a family man, and I look for something a lot different in hotels. I'm looking for coolness, I'm looking for style, I'm looking for luxury, I'm looking for sophistication, and I really didn't find any of that here. Unfortunately, again, I like to be positive, proactive, optimistic. I love travel and everything comes from it. I certainly gained a lot of knowledge from this trip, but I really didn't gain a lot of memories. Just the steak. So because of all of that, I'm gonna give my first ever rating of 0 out of 6. I'm unsatisfied. This hotel just isn't for me. I hate to give out these ratings, but I have to be authentic, I have to be genuine, I have to be real, and this hotel isn't for me.